I've been in the heart of Lisbon for a week now, and I've taken every opportunity to explore its main attractions. And in doing so, one thing is certain. You can easily spend all of your vacation time in this area of Portugal and be completely satisfied. There's just so much to see and do. But for those that want more, that want to venture out a little further to see what else Portugal has to offer, I decided to visit a town called Sintra. And to do so, I hired a bit of help. Good morning, everybody. Today is day 5 or 6 of my day here in Lisbon, Portugal. For today, I got something set up quite different, kind of been staying away from that, but I jumped back on the platform, I checked it out, read the reviews, and it sounded like a great idea. And what I'm speaking of is an Airbnb experience. Now, I've been using Airbnb for the longest to find apartments, but I've never experienced the Airbnb experiences in which locals have started up small little travel tours, walking tours, things to bring the tourist into the culture, the city vibes, and all that good stuff. And so what I booked for today is an 8-hour expedition that will take me from Lisbon, Portugal to Sintra, Portugal. And there is a way to get there with a train, but it's much longer. And I definitely feel like this is one of those things where you need somebody with a vehicle. So it all kind of worked in conjunction to push me, to propel me towards booking this Airbnb experience. And the question that I'm going to answer at the end of this video is, are they worth it? Are these Airbnb experiences worth it? My thoughts and opinions of it, and just show you guys what this entire tour was about. So with that said, we have about 30 minutes to make it to the meetup spot. So let's go. The meetup was across the historical landmark Monumento aos Restauradores, which memorializes the Portuguese independence from the Spanish. It was a 7-person group in which Canada, Mexico, Belgium, and America was represented. We all jumped into a nice, comfortable van, and we made our way to our first stop, the Capela de Santa Eufemia. The guide discussed and showed us one of Portugal's biggest and most important exports, cork, which is harvested from trees once every 9 years. That cork is used to create many of the items we see and use today, but most famously, wine bottle corks. But one can make just about anything with this type of material. We then walked over to a viewing area dominated by a giant cross high above the clouds. Unfortunately, this palace right here wasn't on the itinerary today, but it gave me a reason to return to Sintras at a future date. The palace we did go to, however, was the Quinta de Regaleira, and it was terrific. A quick pause. I know I said earlier that you could spend all your time in the heart of Lisbon and you would be perfectly satisfied, and that's true. But if you can spare the time, I highly recommend visiting this place. So much so, it's almost a must visit when in Portugal. The housing quarter is cool and all. You see some cool things inside, but the garden area is where the magic is. It's a beautiful labyrinth of trails full of trees, flowers, structures, and the coolest part, underground passages. After doing all that walking, we worked up quite the appetite, and so we had dinner at a little place called Pensão Sisulo. The food was great, the people were great, it was terrific. I can't recommend this place enough, and apparently many people feel the same way based on its high reviews.
Not too far from the restaurant was our next stop, Praia de Adraga. There were no people, it was a sunny day, and with a newfound appreciation for beaches after spending months and months in Eastern Europe, it put a smile on my face. I absolutely loved it. After that, we made our way further down the coastline to Cabo da Roca, which presents you with spectacular views and a picturesque lighthouse. Not lingering too much at this location, our guide then took us to the next and final stop, in which, after a brief hike, was much more secluded and offered a fantastic panorama view of the coastline. I'm gonna give it my best shot in pronouncing this, so bear with me. This place is called the Capela de Nossa Senhora de Peninha.
So are Airbnb experiences worth it? Now, I can't say this across the board because I had a somewhat negative experience in Belgrade, Serbia, in which I signed up for one and then the last minute he canceled, and then he tried to refund me my money back in cash in person, and so it got a little weird. But this one was one of the greatest experience decisions that I've made as a tourist in the last 9 months. That's how much I enjoyed it. I do believe that what sold this as a great experience was the tour guide. One of the things that he did a really good job at was creating a type of bond between the group. He encouraged us to work together, we're a team that once he left, we all continued to hang out for an additional 3 hours of drinking and eating at this nice little restaurant. So he did an amazing job at creating a bond between our group. If you've never gone on one of these tours, I do have a few tips that you should abide by, just because some of these could get pricey. You're spending 8 hours of your day, $70, $100. So you should try to build some type of criteria to meet when choosing these places. And in my opinion, the only time you should engage in one of these and pay for one of these is when the tour is willing to pick you up from one part of the country and transport you to another, so you're able to see a whole nother aspect of the country. And in doing so, you eliminate so many logistics and headaches that go into getting from point A to point B. Where I went on this tour, technically, yes, I could have gotten a train and taken multiple buses to hit up all the places that he showed us, but it would have been a nightmare. I would have been exhausted. It wouldn't have been fun. So our tours that keep you in the city, like photography tours and cooking tours and stuff like that, it depends on who you are. They might be worth it to you. For me, not so much. You got to supply me with something that is difficult to achieve, and that is just transportation. And then yes, you got Uber and Bolt and all that stuff that could get you there, but then you have a tour guide that is willing to spit some knowledge your way, so it all works out really, really well. So I highly recommend that when getting one of these, make sure they take care of the transportation and show you something cool somewhere far, far from where you're staying at. The second thing that you should do is dive deep into the reviews and the ratings. If you're going from one place of the country to the next, in theory, that's amazing. But if you have to spend like an hour or 2 hours in bumper to bumper traffic, then that's not very fun. Now, if it's 2 hours of just like straight good flow of traffic, then that's different. But if you're in traffic, then that sucks. And I looked into one in Bucharest, Romania, where they were going to take me from Bucharest to Bulgaria, and a lot of the reviews said that, oh, you're waiting for like 2 hours in traffic one way. So again, dive deep into this reviews, make sure that there isn't a whole lot of lag, and then that will help you to shape your decision. when in Lisbon, I highly recommend that you seek out this experience. You will not regret it. And if you enjoyed this video, if you found it entertaining or helpful in any way, please consider hitting that subscribe button or that thumbs up button. Any show of support is greatly appreciated. Peace.